It's late, or it feels late in the way it does when your eyes are tired, but your mind is still pacing around. You're lying there in the dark, maybe with your phone still warm in your hand, thumb hovering over one more scroll, one more search, one more, maybe this will help. Your body knows it wants sleep, but your thoughts are still replaying the day, or rehearsing tomorrow, or circling that one thing you wish had gone differently. Maybe this isn't the first thing you've tried. Maybe you've listened to other voices, other tracks, other promises that tonight would be the night it finally got quiet. Maybe some helped a little. Maybe some didn't touch the noise at all. Either way, here you are, again, on this particular night, in this particular bed. That's already enough. You got yourself here. You pressed play. You've done the hardest part, which is deciding not to fight this on your own for a while. You don't have to be good at relaxing. You don't have to know how to quiet your mind. You can be restless, doubtful, hopeful, or just exhausted. All of that fits. Here's how this will go. I'll keep talking to you in a low, steady way. Your only job is to lie there. That's it. You don't need to focus on every word. You don't have to agree with everything I say. You might drift in and out, catching some phrases and missing others. That's not a problem. If your thoughts wander, they wander. If you stay awake, you stay awake. If you fall asleep halfway through a sentence, that's perfectly fine too. There is no right way to do this. There is no test to pass. You can move, scratch an itch, change position, adjust your pillow, or open your eyes for a moment. You can keep your mind exactly as it is, and let the words move around you. This is something that will be done with you, not to you. So, for now, just notice that you are here, in this one room, on this one night, with this one body that has carried you through another day. Feel the surface underneath you, holding your weight, the mattress or whatever you're lying on, quietly taking the shape of you. Notice where you make contact with it. Maybe the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, your legs, the heaviness of your heels, or the softness of your feet. Let your attention move slowly, the way you might look over a familiar room in low light, not searching for anything, just seeing what's already there. Start at your feet. Notice the way they rest, the fabric around your toes, or the coolness of air if they're uncovered. You don't have to change how they feel. Just register that they exist, down there at the far edge of you. From there, sense your ankles, your calves, the way they sink into the bed, or lean to one side. Maybe there's a slight pull in a muscle, or a sense of warmth, or almost nothing at all. Whatever you find is okay. You're just mapping where your body meets the bed. Move your awareness up to your knees, the weight of them, the bend or stretch, then your thighs, heavier, broader, resting into the support beneath them. Notice how the bed rises up to meet you. You're not holding yourself up. Gravity is doing that part, and the mattress is doing the rest. Feel your hips and pelvis, the centre of your weight. This is often where the day hides. Long hours of sitting, standing, walking, carrying. You don't need to relax them on purpose. Just notice how they are. Tilted, even, uneven, comfortable, or not quite. Whatever is true is welcome here. Let your attention travel to your lower back, the gentle curve, the points that press more firmly into the surface. Sense the fabric between you and the bed, the texture, the slight warmth where your skin has been resting for a while. You might become aware of your breath here, the way your back shifts a little with each inhale and exhale without you having to manage it. Now feel the weight of your upper back, your shoulder blades. One might feel different from the other. That's fine. Your shoulders may still be holding something from earlier, a tightness from work, a conversation that stayed with you, the habit of bracing against the day. You don't have to soften them. Just acknowledge that they're doing their best. Notice your arms, wherever they've landed, along your sides, folded across your chest, tucked under a pillow. Feel the pull of gravity through them, down to your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and finally your hands. Sense the shape of each hand, the fingers, the spaces between the fingers, the way the fabric or the air touches your skin. Bring your attention now to your neck, the back of it resting on the pillow or the bed. Feel the support there, the way your head is cradled, the contact points, maybe the back of your skull, the curve just above your neck, the sides of your head. Notice the softness or firmness of the pillow, the way it yields or holds. Become aware of your face, not by changing it, just by noticing the weight of your eyelids, whether they're closed or half closed, the feeling of your cheeks, the line of your jaw, the gentle parting or meeting of your lips, the air moving in and out through your nose or mouth, cool or warm, steady or uneven. Around all of this, feel the blanket or sheet covering you, the pressure of it on your legs, your hips, your chest. Maybe it's heavier in some places, lighter in others. Notice the temperature underneath it, warmer close to your body, cooler at the edges. Then notice the air on the parts of you that aren't covered, the skin of your face, your neck, maybe your hands or your feet, the temperature of the room. It might be slightly cool against your skin, or just neutral, almost unnoticeable, until you look for it. Listen for a moment to the sounds around you, the quiet hum of something in the background, a faint noise from another room, a car in the distance, the settling of the building. None of these sounds need to be pushed away. They can be part of the night with you. They are just proof that the world is still turning while you lie here. Your breath is doing its own thing. You don't need to deepen it or count it. Just notice that it's happening. In and out. A small rise somewhere in your body as air comes in. A small fall as it leaves. Like a slow, reliable tide that's been moving all day without your supervision. Here, just here, this body, this bed, this air, these sounds. Whatever your mind is doing on top of that is like weather passing over a landscape. Thoughts can keep coming. Plans, memories, random bits of song or conversation. They don't have to stop for this to work. They can be part of the background, like distant traffic, while your attention keeps returning to these simple physical facts. The walls around you are staying where they are. The door is closed, or partly closed, exactly how you left it. The things that needed doing today have already been done, or left undone. Either way, today is over. The rest of it will belong to another version of you, in another morning. For now, you're just a body on a bed, being held up by something steady. You've given yourself this pocket of time where nothing else has a claim on you. You don't have to earn it. You're already in it. As you settle a little more into the shape of the mattress, imagine the outline of you becoming clearer against it, from your heels resting where they are, up through your legs, your hips, your back, your shoulders, all the way to the back of your head. One continuous line of contact, like a soft imprint. If your mind wants to wander off to something else, let it wander. And then, when you remember, gently notice one small detail again. The weight of your left hand, the feeling of your tongue resting in your mouth, the way the fabric touches the skin at your collarbone, tiny anchors scattered all over you. Each time you notice one of these things, you're arriving a little more fully in this moment, in this room, not trying to force sleep, not trying to force silence, just shifting the center of your attention from the loudness of thoughts to the quiet, steady presence of your body. There is nowhere else you have to be right now. No conversation you have to finish. No decision you have to make before you close your eyes. Time will keep moving, whether you watch it or not. You can let it pass without keeping track. So stay just as you are, listening, or drifting, or hovering somewhere in between. Let the words come and go like a low murmur from another room, while you rest here, on this bed, in this night, with nothing more asked of you than this simple act of being here. The day stays where it is, outside the doorway of this moment. Each breath carries you a little further inside, into this room, into this bed, into the simple weight of your own body. Imagine the day as something you have just stepped in from, a hallway behind you, a threshold you have already crossed. You have come in through an invisible door, and now you are arriving. The first thing that happens when you arrive home is always the same. You pause just inside the doorway. You feel the difference in the air. Outside, the air has a certain edge to it, a brightness, a thinness. Inside, the air is softer, a little warmer, a little stiller. Sense that same shift around your skin now. The air in this room has its own quiet. It rests against your face, your neck, your hands. There is no rush in it. It does not ask anything of you. The doorway closes behind you with a soft, final sound, not a slam, not a sharp click, just a gentle, certain way A door leans into its frame and settles there. That sound is like an exhale. Feel your own exhale answering it. The muscles around your eyes ease a fraction. Your jaw hangs just a little looser. Your tongue rests against the floor of your mouth. You are inside. When you come home, you set things down. Think of your body as the entryway. A small, welcoming space just past the door. Right now, your shoulders are that place where bags are carried, where weight has been held up all day. With your next breath out, imagine unhooking invisible straps from those shoulders. The straps slide down your arms. They fall away. Your shoulder blades widen as if they are moving slightly apart on the surface beneath you. The fabric under you receives that new weight without complaint. Your arms lie where they are, like coats slipped from your hands and left on a familiar chair. Nothing needs to be picked up again tonight. The weight of your head is like a set of keys you place in the same small dish every evening. Notice how your head rests against the pillow, how the pillow gives and then stops and holds you. There is a tiny sense of being cradled there, at the back of your skull, at the curve where your neck meets the softness. Those are your keys set down. No need to keep them in your hand. Your chest has been a doorway too, open and alert to the world. Now the door is closing for the night, not shutting you away, just drawing the day on the other side. Your ribs move with your breath, front and back, a slow, steady swing of a door on well-oiled hinges. With each exhale, feel that door resting closer to stillness. The world is on the other side. You are here. When you arrive home, there is the sound of the door closing out the street. Out there might be traffic, voices, movement. In here, the sounds are softer, more distant. If there are any sounds around you now, let them belong to the outside hallway. They can stay beyond the closed door. They might reach you as a faint murmur, like footsteps in a corridor, like an elevator far down the building. But the room you are in, the room of your body, holds a thicker quiet. Your breathing is the sound of this room. Steady, unhurried, familiar. You have carried many small things through the day. Thoughts, plans, worries, half-finished conversations. They are like items in your hands as you step into a home. A bag here, a letter there, a phone, a notebook, a list. You do not have to sort them all at once. Just feel yourself placing them down, one by one, in a small, neat row beside the door. Each thought that tries to step forward now can be pictured as something you are holding. You can imagine setting it on a low table by the entrance. You can come back to it in the morning. For now, it can rest. Notice the weight of your hands where they lie. They have done so much carrying, so much reaching and typing and holding. Now they are like empty pockets turned gently inside. Nothing more to bring out. The fingers soften, the palms cool against the sheet or blanket. The backs of your hands feel the air, or the fabric, or both. They do not have to grip anything. Your hips and legs are like heavy bags you have set down just inside the door. Feel the way your hips sink into the mattress, the way the surface under you rises up to meet them. There is a quiet thud to that settling, even if you cannot hear it. The quiet thud of weight, finding where it belongs. Your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles. All of them have been in motion, walking you through rooms and streets and tasks. Now they are leaned against the wall of the evening, propped where they can rest. The mattress takes their full, simple heaviness. If one heel is pressing a little more firmly than the other, notice that. That small, honest pressure the fabric gives just enough to meet it. It does not push back. It simply holds. Think of closing the door on light. Outside the doorway, the day is still lit. There are screens glowing, windows bright, signs and rooms and streets. Inside, the light is dimmer, softer around the edges. You can feel that dimness on your eyelids. Even if the room is not dark, the inside of your eyes has its own evening. The muscles around them no longer need to focus. They do not need to aim. They can be like curtains drawn halfway across a window, no longer watching the street. Your forehead smooths as if a hand has slid gently down it, from hairline to brow. The hand is only your awareness, passing over, telling each small muscle it can settle. You have stepped in. You have closed the door. Now you are moving further into the room of your own body. The floor here is the support beneath you. Solid, dependable, unmoving. The bed is like a thick rug laid over that floor. softening every contact. Your spine stretches out along it, from the base of your skull, down the back of your neck, between your shoulder blades, along the middle of your back, through your lower back, to the tailbone. Each part is like a footprint on that rug, a clear, gentle imprint. You do not have to change your position. Just notice where each part of you meets this quiet ground. In a home, there are rooms you move through, even when you are tired. A kitchen, a hallway, a living room. Inside your body, there are spaces too. As you breathe, imagine walking slowly from room to room. On the inhale, you stand in the doorway of your chest. On the exhale, you step into the spaciousness of your belly. The belly rises with the breath in, like a door opening. It softens with the breath out, like a door resting back against its frame. No effort, just the natural swing. The temperature of the air on your face might be a little cooler than the warmth trapped under the covers. That difference is like stepping from a tiled entryway onto a soft rug. The coolness at your nose, your cheeks, your forehead, the warmth at your torso, your hips, your legs, both belong to the same home. Both are part of this enclosed evening. If there is any part of you still lingering in the hallway of the day, invite it gently inside. Maybe your mind is still near that outer door, listening for things, checking, remembering. Imagine that outer door now, solid, closed, the handle at rest, the lock turned with a soft, certain click. Everything that needed watching has been watched. Everything that needed answering has been answered, as much as it will be tonight. The rest can wait in the small pile by the door. You are moving further inward. Your breath is the quiet walk down a familiar hallway. Lights dim, feet slow. With each breath out, you pass another doorway that you do not need to open. Work can stay behind one, conversations behind another, plans behind a third. You keep walking, past them all, toward the most comfortable room in the house. That room is here, where you are lying. Your bed is the softest place in this inner home. The place where you always end up, no matter how the day has been. Feel how the mattress receives you along your whole length. how the pillow shapes itself to your head, how the blanket or sheet folds itself around your body, like a door that does not close tight, but leans in just enough to say, here is the boundary of the night. You do not have to stand in any doorway now. You are already inside. Your breath moves in and out, like the faint sway of a curtain in a quiet room. The air comes, the air goes, you rest where you are. The day is on the other side of the door. Here, the only thing happening is this gentle settling, this setting down, this simple physical arrival in your own space. The weight of your body is already beginning to settle, and now, in your mind, a room begins to form around you. Not a place you have to travel to, more like a soft, quiet room, gently appearing where you already are. Walls close enough to feel their presence, but not crowding you. A ceiling above, low enough to feel comforting, high enough to breathe easily. The air in this room has a gentle warmth to it. Not hot, not cool, just that calm, even temperature that makes blankets feel inviting. You can almost sense the air resting on your skin like a thin layer of softness, with no sharp edges, no drafts, no rush. All around, the light is muted. Not bright, not dark. A soft, indirect glow, like light filtered through fabric. It doesn't ask anything of your eyes. It simply exists quiet and steady, the way a lamp looks when it has been on for a long time and forgotten itself. Beneath you, the bed becomes part of this room. The surface under your body is the central piece of furniture here. Supportive, familiar, with its own gentle give. Notice how the mattress shapes itself around your weight, how it meets you exactly where you press into it. Your head is resting, and you might sense the pillow cupping the back of your skull, the curve of your neck. The pillow doesn't push back too much. It simply rises to meet you, like a soft hand that has learned your shape. The fabric against your cheek is smooth, maybe a little cool at the edges, gradually warming where your skin has been resting. The walls of this room hold their quiet. They are thick enough that outside sounds arrive only as distant, softened hints. A car far away becomes a low, gentle hum. A door somewhere else in the world becomes a faint vibration that barely reaches these walls before dissolving. Each exhale you breathe seems to deepen the stillness of this room. As you breathe out, the air around you feels as though it settles a little more, like dust that has been gently stirred, now drifting down again, finding its place on shelves, on fabric, on the smooth floor. In one corner of the room, there might be a small lamp. Its shade is made of something soft, maybe linen, maybe paper. The light it gives is warm and quiet. The colour of late afternoon, resting on a wall. It doesn't flicker, doesn't strain. It just glows, a steady presence that asks nothing of you. The floor beneath the bed is solid, grounding the whole space. You may not see it clearly, but you can feel the sense of structure. Everything here is held. The bed frame, the mattress, your body, all supported by something steady and unmoving, so you don't have to hold yourself up. Your shoulders can feel that now. They can ease down into the surface beneath them, as if the room itself is gently pressing back with quiet support. The muscles along your upper back start to understand that they can soften, even just a little, the fabric of your clothing or your sheets rests lightly over them, not pulling, not tight. Notice your hands, wherever they are, resting on your stomach or by your sides or tucked under a pillow. Each finger has its own small weight, its own contact with fabric or skin. The room around you feels like it is wrapping these hands in a hush, like placing them on a folded blanket in a quiet corner. Here, in this stillness, the air doesn't rush past your ears. It hangs softly like a curtain that has finally stopped moving. Any sound that does arrive seems to be padded by the room itself. The walls, the soft furnishings, the bedding, all absorbing edges and echoes, leaving only the gentlest traces. The more you notice this room, the more it feels like an extension of your own body resting. The softness beneath you is like the room's way of saying, stay as long as you like. The muted light is like the room closing its eyes halfway, drowsy and kind. Nothing in this space is sharp or demanding. Your legs feel the weight of blankets if they are there. That slight comforting pressure over your thighs, your knees, your shins. The fabric drapes and pulls, creating small folds that you can sense, even without looking. Each fold is a tiny landscape of softness, touching you in different ways, giving your skin something gentle to lean into. Around your ankles, notice how the covers might tuck in or fall loose. The way the material rests, there can be oddly reassuring. It marks the edge of your body in this room, a soft outline where you end and the quiet air begins. Even your toes, hidden or exposed, have their own place in this cocoon of softness. Over by one wall, imagine a chair with a thick cushion. No one is sitting in it. It simply exists as another place in the room where rest is possible. The cushion has a slight indentation from times it has held weight before, and even that memory of sitting feels calm and unhurried. Perhaps there is a small shelf or table near the bed. On it, a book that has been read many times, now closed, its cover relaxed, maybe a glass of water, the surface still and unbroken. These simple objects add to the feeling that this room is lived in, trusted, familiar. The ceiling above you feels close enough to be comforting. You can sense its presence, like a soft lid on a box of treasured things. It doesn't press down, it simply completes the space, so that everything has a boundary. The mind often settles more easily when it knows where things end. As you breathe, the room seems to breathe with you. On the in-breath, the quiet feels a little fuller. On the out-breath, the quiet seems to deepen, as if the room is exhaling too, releasing any leftover tension in the air. Your chest rises and falls, and the bedding moves in tiny, almost invisible waves. The fabric touching your skin is doing its own quiet work. Where it meets your arms, it might feel slightly warmer, holding the heat your body has given it. Where it lies, in the open air, it stays cooler, like the shaded part of a curtain. These small temperature differences are gentle reminders that you are here, in contact with the world held by it. In this room, time doesn't hurry. There are no clocks ticking loudly, no alarms waiting. If there is a clock at all, its sound is softened by distance and fabric, more like a faint heartbeat in another room than a demand. Here, the only rhythm that matters is your own breathing and the slow, steady weight of your body. Your jaw can soften in this space. The muscles around your mouth, your tongue, resting more loosely. The room doesn't need you to speak or respond or decide anything. It receives you just as you are, like a bed receives a sleeping cat, adjusting quietly without fuss. The air near your face may feel just a touch cooler than the rest of your body. Each inhale brushes the inside of your nose, the back of your throat, with that gentle coolness. Each exhale leaves a faint warmth behind, a tiny cloud of comfort that blends into the stillness. Nothing in this exchange is rushed. The walls keep holding their silence. They stand like patient guardians, not watching, not judging, simply present. Outside, life may continue. But here, inside these boundaries, everything is hushed. Even your thoughts, if they wander toward the edges of the room, seem to soften as they touch these quiet walls. The weight of your heels against the mattress is another small anchor. Feel how they press down, how the fabric gives just slightly, holding that small pressure without complaint. It's such a simple contact, heel to bed, and yet it tells your nervous system, here is down, here is support. From that point, the rest of your body can organize itself around ease. Your spine, from the base up to the back of your neck, is being cradled by this space. Where it curves, the bed rises to meet it. Where it flattens, the surface remains steady, unwavering. There is nothing to brace against here, only something to rest into. Even the corners of the room feel soft, not sharp angles, but places where light and shadow blur together. You might imagine the corners padded with fabric, or simply rounded by the gentle glow. Every edge in this room has been softened, as though the space itself understands tiredness and has made itself kind. As you continue to breathe, the room feels more and more like a second skin around you, an outer layer of quiet softness, enclosing your own warmth and weight. The bed, the walls, the ceiling, the dim light, all forming a simple, tender envelope around your resting body. Here, you can sink inch by inch into the comfort that is already holding you. The air around you carries a slight coolness now, as if evening has settled in a quiet garden and you are resting in the center of it. Breath moves in and out like a gentle breeze through leaves. Soft, unhurried. Inhale, a slow, quiet drawing in. Exhale, a long, easy release, as if the whole garden sighs with you. Imagine this garden at twilight. The light is fading, not suddenly, but in a slow, kind dimming. Shapes soften, edges blur. Nothing needs to stand out or be sharp anymore. Your body is like the earth in this garden, steady, supportive, holding everything that grows and settles on it. As you breathe, feel how this earth body receives your weight, how it holds you without asking for anything in return. Notice the coolness at the surface of your skin, like evening air touching the leaves of plants. Not cold, just a soft, cooling hush after the warmth of the day. Your skin can rest like petals closing. With your next inhale, sense the air brushing the inside of your nose, as if it is passing through a narrow garden path. Each breath in moves gently along that path, brushing past invisible branches, then opens into the wider space of your chest. As you exhale, feel your ribs soften like stems that no longer need to stand so tall. They can bend slightly, relax as the breath flows out between them. The whole ribcage settling like a cluster of plants folding toward the soil. Bring your attention to your face, the muscles around your eyes, your forehead, your jaw. Imagine they are like small flowers that have been open all day, tracking the light, watching, turning. Now, as evening comes, those flowers close, lids growing heavier, petals drawing inward. The space behind your closed eyes becomes a shaded corner of the garden. Quiet, cool, dim. Feel the tiny muscles around your eyes soften, the forehead smoothing, like soil after a gentle rake passes through. Your jaw loosens as if a tight bud has finally decided it is done holding. The tongue rests heavier in your mouth like a leaf lying still on the ground. Each breath out is like the garden, releasing the heat of the day. You might even imagine a faint warmth leaving through your nose or lips. The air you send out is a little warmer, carrying away what is no longer needed. The air you draw in is a touch cooler, like evening, drifting through tall grasses. Move your awareness down to your neck and shoulders. These are branches that have held so much. Thoughts, plans, conversations, reactions. All of it perched there like birds along a limb. In this twilight garden, the birds have flown to their nests. The branches are empty now. Feel how your shoulders can sink even a few millimeters toward the ground beneath you, like branches lowering without the weight. On your inhale, Imagine a soft, cool breath moving up the back of your neck like a breeze that knows exactly where tension has been hiding. On your exhale, sense that breeze flowing down over your shoulders, through the upper arms, like air moving gently along a hedge. Your arms themselves are like long, quiet stems, from shoulders to elbows, from elbows to wrists, from wrists to fingertips. Notice the weight of your hands, how they rest, their own quiet gravity, like blossoms heavy with dew, finally still. See if you can feel the tiny spaces between each finger, as if small leaves are spaced along a branch, each with its own little pocket of air. There is no need to move them. Just sensing their presence is enough. Breathing in, your chest rises slightly, like a cluster of plants lifting in a faint breeze. Breathing out, everything falls back toward the soil again. This rhythm is simple, steady, ancient. It has been here all along, like the slow cycle of light in a garden. Bring your attention now to the center of your chest, the place where breath feels broadest. Imagine a small clearing here, a patch of open ground among the plants. Soft earth, undisturbed, holding the warmth of the fading day. With each inhale, that clearing receives the cool of evening air. With each exhale, it releases a thin veil of warmth upward. You do not have to change your breath. Just feel this gentle exchange, like the garden and the sky trading temperatures. Allow your awareness to drift down through your spine, vertebra by vertebra, like stepping stones along a shaded path. You may not feel each one clearly, and that is perfectly fine. Simply trace a slow sense of downwardness from the base of your neck to your lower back. Your back is like a long, quiet bed of earth. Some parts may feel softer, some a little tighter, like soil that has been packed. With every exhale, imagine the soil loosening, grain by grain. Roots underneath, spreading out in their own time, without effort. Now, move your focus to your belly. This is the deep garden bed, rich and dark and still. As you inhale, the belly gently expands, like soil rising just a little as roots drink in water. As you exhale, it settles back, everything sinking into its natural place. Notice how the breath moves all the way down here, even if it feels subtle or faint. Inhale, and the garden within you swells quietly. Exhale, and it rests again, more settled than before. Bring your awareness to your hips and pelvis. These are like broad stones in the garden, half buried, steady, unmoving. They anchor everything around them. Feel their weight pressing down, solid and unquestioning. As you breathe out, sense the muscles around your hips loosening, like vines, releasing their grip on those stones. The thighs too can soften. Long stretches of earth, no longer needing to be firm or ready to move. Your knees are like small, rounded stones along the path. Simple, quiet shapes. Notice any sensation there, or the absence of sensation. Both are welcome in this evening garden. From knees to ankles, your lower legs rest like shaded borders along a wall. Cooler now, out of the direct light. If there has been any buzzing or restlessness, imagine it sinking down into the soil, dissolving like water soaking in after rain. Your ankles and feet are the roots of this garden body. They meet the ground, connect you to the surface beneath. Feel the points where your heels touch, how they press down, and how the fabric or mattress gives just slightly, holding that small pressure without complaint. Each toe is like a tiny root tip, quiet and still. You may barely notice them, and that is all right. Just know they are there, part of the whole system resting. Now sense your whole body at once, as if you are lying in the heart of this twilight garden. Above, the light has thinned to a soft, even shade. Around you, plants stand in their evening shapes, no longer growing, just being. The air carries a faint scent of earth cooling, of leaves, exhaling the last of the day. Your breath continues like the slow rhythm of night settling in. Inhale, and the garden draws in the dim, cool air. Exhale, and a long, quiet ease spreads through the soil, through your muscles, through your thoughts. You are like this garden at evening. Nothing to prepare, nothing to fix. The work of the day is already behind you, like sunlight that has slipped below the horizon. All that remains is this gentle dimming, this soft interior quiet, Stay with the feeling of breath moving through this inner landscape, the rise and fall, the small, nearly invisible shifts in muscle and skin. Every exhale deepening the stillness of your own quiet garden at night. Each exhale settles a little more now, like the body has found its own rhythm and is quietly keeping time. Inside this steady breathing, imagine a wide, open sky, not above you but within you. A vast, gentle expanse, stretching in every direction behind your closed eyes. The weight of your head on the pillow is the ground. Soft, steady, dependable. Above that ground, inside the space of your mind, the sky opens, spacious, quiet, unhurried. Thoughts may still move through. They appear like clouds in that inner sky. Some are thin and almost transparent, barely there. Some are thicker, with edges you can trace. Notice how, even when a cloud appears, the sky itself stays untouched. The sky does not strain. It does not cling. It simply holds everything and remains itself. As you breathe in, feel the chest widen slightly, like the horizon of that inner sky is stretching a little farther. As you breathe out, feel a soft settling, as if the air is smoothing out the space within. The small muscles around your eyes can soften now. Behind them, that inner sky feels a little more open. The forehead smooths, like clouds slowly spreading, losing their sharp lines. Tension thins out, the way morning mist thins as the air warms. In this sky of the mind, some thoughts drift slowly, like distant pale clouds. They barely move, others pass more quickly, like small, hurried shapes. You do not need to follow them. You can simply watch them cross the wide, quiet space. Bring your attention to your jaw. Notice if it is holding on to anything. With your next exhale, imagine a small breeze moving through the sky of your mind. Gentle, cool, almost playful. As that breeze moves, the jaw loosens just a little. The tongue rests more heavily, like a bird folding its wings and settling on a branch high in that sky. The shoulders sink down into whatever is beneath them. In the sky within, a layer of heavy clouds begins to spread out and soften. What once felt dense now stretches thin, like pulled cotton, becoming lighter, more see-through. You can sense space opening between each tiny drop of thought. Every breath is like a slow, calm wind. Not pushing, not forcing, just moving through, reshaping the clouds without effort. When a thought tries to gather itself into a storm, feel your inhale. Feel the air entering, filling the ribs, widening the front of the body. Then feel the exhale, long and easy, as if the wind has shifted and the storm cloud loses its edges, dissolving back into the wide blue of awareness. Behind your forehead, there may still be flickers, little flashes of memory, plans, half-formed sentences. They are like birds far away, small, dark shapes, crossing the light. They come into view for a moment, then they pass. The sky does not chase them. The sky does not need to know where they are going. Sense the weight of your hands now. How they rest. How still they are. Inside, in that open mental sky. It is as if the air has grown very calm. No rush, no urgency, just a vast, gentle presence, quietly holding everything. Thoughts of the day may return. They might gather like a cluster of clouds in one corner of the sky. You can see them there, off to the side. You can feel their shape without stepping into them. They are only patterns in the air. They do not change the space they float in. With each breath, imagine the sky of your mind becoming clearer, higher, wider, not by pushing the thoughts away, but by noticing the space around them, the space beneath them, the space that was there before they formed and will remain when they fade. Your chest rises again. On the inhale, it is as though a soft light spreads across that inner sky. Gentle, even, without glare. On the exhale, the light lingers, but everything grows quieter, like the air at the end of a long, still afternoon. If a worry appears, see it as a darker cloud, perhaps a little heavier. You can look at it from a distance. You might even sense its weight, its texture. Then feel the slow, steady rhythm of your breathing. With each out-breath, imagine the edges of that cloud blurring, its darkness thinning, streaks of it drifting away until it is only a faint shade in a very large, very patient sky. Notice the back of your head where it meets the pillow. That contact is steady, unmoving. Above that contact point, the mind sky continues boundless. Even if thoughts move, the support beneath your head does not. In the same way, the open space of awareness beneath all thinking stays steady, untouched. Some thoughts may feel like quick flashes, like birds darting and turning in mid-air. They shift direction, they change shape, they vanish behind the horizon of attention. You can allow them to do exactly that. They do not need to land. They do not need to be named. Feel your breath moving through your throat, your chest, your belly. Each inhale draws coolness into the sky of the mind, like higher, clearer air. Each exhale releases warmth downward, like the soft settling of evening. This rhythm continues on its own, like the slow turning of the earth beneath that inner sky. If you notice a tightness somewhere in the body, imagine it as a small knot of weather, a compact swirl of cloud and wind in one part of the sky. Bring your awareness there, gently. Breathe in as though you're inviting fresh, clean air into that small knot. Breathe out as though the swirl is loosening, spreading, becoming a simple, harmless cloud again. Behind your closed eyes, the darkness has its own depth. You might sense it as a night sky now. Vast, quiet, almost endless. Thoughts appear like faint shapes against it, but the darkness holds them all without effort. It does not judge the shapes. It simply offers them space to appear and to vanish. The muscles at the base of your skull can soften. The neck can rest more heavily. As this happens, the sky within feels even more expansive, as though the horizon has dropped away and there is only openness in every direction. You are not trying to reach it. You are simply resting as it. Breath in. Feel the subtle lift, the gentle expansion. Breath out. Feel the soft descent, the quiet release. Clouds may form. Clouds may fade. The sky remains. In this wide inner space, even the smallest thought has room. It does not need to be pushed aside. It can float, transform, and disperse in its own time. Your only task is to keep returning again and again to the simple sense of sky, spacious, open, calm. As you rest here, the chatter of the mind grows more distant, like a weather pattern far off on the horizon, barely reaching you. What is close now is the stillness, the soft, unbroken field of awareness that holds everything and is disturbed by nothing. Stay with the feeling of this inner sky for a few more breaths. Feel how large it is, how gentle, how steady. Thoughts may pass through, but they are only visitors. The sky of your mind is the quiet, constant background, always here, quietly watching the clouds drift by. Each exhale moves through you like a small current, slow, unhurried. As the breath leaves, imagine it joining a gentle river that begins right at the centre of your chest, a quiet stream of air and feeling, flowing in one direction only, away from effort, away from noise. Inhale, and the river gathers. Exhale, and it moves. This river is not outside you. It runs through the middle of your body, a soft, steady flow that knows exactly where to go. With your next breath out, feel that inner river begin at the space behind your eyes. As you breathe, it flows down through the head, like clear water moving over smooth stone. The muscles across your forehead are like rocks that have been warmed by the day. The river glides over them, and with each pass the edges soften, lines ease. The space behind your eyes becomes wide and dim and still, like a quiet riverbank at dusk. Another breath in, and as you breathe out, the river carries away the tiny scraps of thought that cling there. Little fragments of sentences, half-finished plans. They lift from the surface of your mind like dry leaves, caught by the current, drifting downstream. You do not have to follow where they go. You only feel the gentle pull of water moving on. The stream continues down through your face, across your cheeks, along your jaw. Imagine your jaw as a small bend in the river where things like to gather, old worries, bits of tension held from words, not spoken, or words spoken and replayed. As you exhale, feel the river round that bend. It curls around the corners of your mouth, under your tongue, along the hinge of the jaw. Anything tight there is like sand being lifted and carried, grains that no longer need to stay in one place. Your tongue rests a little heavier. Your teeth no longer press. The river moves on. With the next breath, it reaches the back of your neck. Imagine cool, clear water sliding along the base of the skull, then spilling gently down each side of the neck. The small muscles there, so used to holding the head upright. Feel the touch of that flow. On the inhale, they notice. On the exhale, they release into it like reeds bending with the current instead of resisting it. The river widens as it enters your shoulders. This is a place where many things have been set down and picked up again. Responsibilities, names, expectations. Picture those things as twigs and branches that have snagged on the banks. They do not need to be sorted or examined. They simply feel the water rise around them. Each breath out is like a gentle increase in the river's strength. Not forceful, just steady. Branch by branch, they loosen and lift, carried away with almost no effort at all. Your shoulders settle a little closer to the surface beneath them. The weight that remains is simple, physical, honest. Just the weight of bone and muscle resting. Now, the river splits, flowing down both arms, along the upper arms, through the elbows, into the forearms. A smooth, continuous stream, like water, following the exact shape of a riverbed. It is known for years. As it moves, it gathers the tiny, buzzing efforts of the day, the way your hands have reached, typed, carried, held, all the doing that still hums faintly in the muscles. With each exhale, feel that hum dissolve into the current. Your wrists soften, your palms become heavy and quiet, like smooth stones settled at the bottom of a shallow stream. Even the fingers feel it. From the base of each finger to the very tips, there is a slow downward pull, as if the river is drawing the last grains of effort away. They no longer need to grasp anything here. The stream that began behind your eyes now returns to the center of your chest. You might sense it as a coolness, or as a warmth, or simply as a direction. Breath in. The river fills this inner space. Breath out. It flows downward through the ribs. Imagine each rib like a smooth, rounded stone at the river's edge. As you breathe, water laps gently against them. On the inhale, they rise slightly, floating. On the exhale, they sink back, more deeply settled than before. Inside, the river moves through the chest, past the heart, past the lungs, not disturbing them, just washing away the leftover echoes of the day's emotions, the quick spikes, the sudden drops. Those echoes become little flecks of silt in the water, swirling for a moment, then disappearing downstream, leaving the inner space quieter, more spacious. The flow continues into your belly. This is a wide, slow stretch of river, the kind that seems almost still on the surface, but you can feel the steady pull beneath. As you inhale, the belly gently rises, as if the river swells. As you exhale, it falls, and the current deepens. Any tightness here is like mud that has been pressed down over time. The river does not rush it. With every breath, it seeps in, loosening the packed places, making room for softness. You may sense tiny shifts, a slight unwinding, a feeling of more space inside your middle, as if the river has quietly widened its banks. From the belly, the water flows into the lower back, across the curve of the spine, down into the bowl of the pelvis. Imagine this area as a calm, sheltered pool where the river pauses. The water here is deep and slow. Whatever has been stored in these strong muscles and joints, effort, bracing, holding, can now sink into that depth. With each exhale, something heavy drops away from the surface and disappears into the quiet pool. You do not need to name what it is. You only feel the lightness that remains. Now, the river finds its way into your hips and down both legs. It travels along the thighs, following the long, familiar path of bone and muscle. Like water moving through a valley it has carved over many years. The thighs, which have carried you through so many steps, begin to rest. On the inhale, they feel the support beneath them. On the exhale, they give more of their weight to it, as if the river inside them has slowed to a gentle drift. The current continues through the knees, washing around each joint. Any stiffness there is like small pebbles caught in an eddy. The water circles, and with time, those pebbles smooth, their edges worn down by patience. From the knees, the river moves into the calves and shins. You might imagine it flowing between two long banks, cool and sure, carrying away the last traces of standing, of moving, of holding yourself up. Your ankles feel the water pass through, untying small knots of tension, like tiny loops of string that have been quietly cut one by one. Finally, the river reaches your feet, the soles, the heels, the toes. Picture the very tips of your toes as a place where the river empties out, joining a larger, unseen body of water beyond you. Everything the current has gathered along the way, the thoughts, the effort, the tightness, has been carried here and released, far from where you rest. Your feet grow heavier, as if they have sunk into soft riverbed sand, supported from below. No need to move, no need to do. Now sense the whole length of this inner river, from the quiet space behind your eyes, down through the throat and chest, through the belly and pelvis, along the legs, all the way to the toes. With each inhale, the river fills with clear, fresh water. With each exhale, it flows smoothly onward, taking with it anything that is ready to drift away. Thoughts may still appear on the surface of your mind. When they do, imagine placing them gently into this river. A single thought is like a small leaf set on the water. You watch it touch the surface. You feel the faint moment of contact, and then the current takes it. No pushing, no chasing, just the natural way water moves. Breath by breath, the river of release continues. Its quiet work inside you, flowing, carrying, clearing. You rest here on the riverbank within yourself, not needing to control the water, only feeling its steady passage. Inhale, and the body fills with this soft inner flow. Exhale, and more of the day drifts downstream, out of sight, out of reach. All that remains is the gentle movement of breath, the silent, faithful river, always moving in the same direction, away from effort, toward ease. Each exhale settles a little further inside. The space behind your closed eyes is already dim and quiet, like a world with its lights turned low. In that inner dusk, a path begins to appear. Not all at once, just a pale suggestion at first. A soft band of light. The way a country lane looks when the moon has been watching it for a long time. Breath moves in, breath moves out, slow and steady. With each gentle rise and fall, the path becomes clearer. You find yourself standing at the beginning of this moonlit way. There is no hurry. The air is cool and still, with that faint sweetness that lives at the edge of fields and trees at night. Above, the sky is wide and calm, and the moon hangs there, quiet and patient, pouring its light over everything. Your body is resting where it is, yet somewhere inside, your feet are already on that soft ground. Feel the breath in your chest like the rhythm of your steps. Inhale as if your inner foot is lifting. Exhale as if it's placing itself gently back down. No strain, no effort, just a slow, natural pace of someone walking with nowhere they need to be. Notice how your shoulders respond to that quiet walk. On the next exhale, they sink a little, as though the straps of an invisible backpack have finally been slipped off. Muscles across your upper back loosen, like a path widening when it leaves the tightness of town and meets the open country. The moonlight on this path is soft, not sharp. It doesn't glare. It just rests on the ground, on the low grass at the edges, on the leaves of the trees that stand a little way off. Each breath out is like taking another step into that soft glow, away from the busy brightness of the day. Your arms hang easily at your sides. In real life, and in this inner walk, feel the weight of them, the simple, honest heaviness. As you walk with your breath, imagine your hands brushing lightly against the fabric of your clothes or against the air, as if they are passing near tall grasses that lean in but never snag. Inhale, the chest expands like drawing in the cool, clean night air. Exhale, the chest eases like a slow footprint, pressing into the packed earth of the lane, leaving a gentle mark that the night will remember for a moment, then smooth away. The path curves slightly, following the edge of a quiet forest. You can sense the trees to one side. They stand like dark, steady friends, their branches catching small pieces of moonlight. You don't need to see every detail. You can feel them by the way the air changes. A hint of bark and leaf, a thicker hush, the kind that gathers where roots run deep. Your ribs move with your breathing, like those trees barely swaying, in a wind that is almost not there. On the in-breath, a tiny lift. On the out-breath, a tiny fall. Slow, predictable, comfortingly the same. Step after step, down near your hips, any tightness begins to unwind. Imagine the path beneath you becoming smoother, less rutted, as if each step you take is ironing out the ground. Muscles across your hips and pelvis soften in response, like a gate that has been unlatched and now swings open easily, without creak or catch. With each breath out, your inner feet sink a little more fully into the path. The ground is firm but forgiving. There is a thin cushion of dust or fine gravel that shapes itself around your soles, holding them, then releasing them as you move on. Your actual feet may feel heavy, warm, or simply there. Let that weight be like the sure contact of foot to earth, step after step, under the moon. Here, in this stillness, the pace is unchanging. The walk is slow, almost dreamlike. You might feel as if the path is carrying you as much as you are walking on it. The way a gentle slope can sometimes guide your stride without you thinking about it. Your jaw loosens. The small muscles around your mouth soften, as though you have been walking long enough that there is nothing left to say. The night does the talking now, in tiny sounds. The faint crunch of an imagined pebble, underfoot, the distant whisper of leaves, at the forest edge, maybe a single insect singing somewhere out in the fields. Inside, the sound that matters most is the quiet rush of your own breathing. In out, in, out, like the softest footfalls along that lane. As you move further along, the country opens up on the side, opposite the trees. You can sense open fields there, lying flat and patient under the moon. The air over them feels wider, more spacious. Each inhale draws in that open space. Each exhale spreads it through your chest, your belly, your legs, until even your toes feel as though they have more room. The muscles in your legs, in the real body resting here, can now begin to release, one by one. Imagine your calves as travellers who have been walking all day and have finally found a road that asks nothing of them. They no longer need to push. They simply follow the path's gentle line. Your knees soften. Any held tension melts like patches of frost disappearing under a slow, steady morning light. Except here the light is moonlight, cool and tender, touching each joint, each tendon, with quiet care. The path itself feels familiar, even if you have never walked it before. There is a sense that many peaceful nights have passed along this way. Many sets of footsteps have come here to think less and feel more. To move in the simple rhythm of breath and step and silence. Your spine follows that rhythm. With each inhalation, it lengthens, just a fraction inside, as if standing a touch taller on the path. With each exhalation, it settles like a traveller, easing their shoulders and sinking into the comfort of the walk. The small muscles along your back, all the way down to the base of your spine, soften as though the moonlight itself is seeping into them, smoothing out every little knot. Up near your neck, a sense of ease begins to spread. The head can feel a little heavier where it rests, as if your inner self has taken off a heavy hat it had forgotten it was wearing. The moonlit path needs no extra gear, no extra armour, just you breathing, walking, existing in this gentle in-between. The forest edge beside you feels like a boundary that holds. The fields on the other side feel like openness that welcomes. You walk between them, in a place that is both held and free. Each breath traces that same line inside you, between the steady structure of your bones and the soft openness of your thoughts. Notice the quiet behind your forehead now. Thoughts may still flicker, like the occasional shadow of a passing cloud over the path, but they don't linger. The moonlight is too steady. It spreads across the lane and across your mind, making even the busiest ideas slow down, soften at the edges, and drift back among the trees. Your inner feet keep their slow pace. One step, one breath. Another step, another breath. No need to arrive anywhere. The walking itself is the rest. As you continue, the path grows even more peaceful. The sounds fade until there's only the almost silent rhythm of your own breathing and the imagined brush of your soles on the ground. The air feels a little cooler against your skin, like a gentle hand on a warm forehead. The weight of your body, where it lies now, is like the weight of those feet on the earth. Honest, simple, fully supported. The surface beneath you holds you the way the path holds each step. Without question, without demand. Somewhere ahead, the path continues under the same calm moon. somewhere behind, it stretches back into the distance you've already walked. You are here, in the middle, in this breath, in this step, in this soft and moonlit pause between one thought and the next. And as the path goes on, your breathing stays steady, like a quiet traveller, moving deeper into the night, deeper into rest with every slow, gentle step. The weight of your body is already softening, edges blurring, breath moving in its own slow rhythm. Somewhere just above the quiet of your skin, a different kind of rest is waiting. A rest that feels like floating, like being held in the air itself. Imagine that tonight, instead of lying where you are resting in a gentle hammock, suspended high in a quiet sky. The chords are strong, but they hardly matter. What you feel is the cradle of soft fabric beneath you, curved to your shape, holding every contour without asking anything from you. The air around you carries a faint coolness, not cold, just enough to remind you that there is space all around, wide and open, stretching in every direction. Above, the sky is deep and calm, not quite night, not quite day, a soft in-between, colour without edges, time without numbers. The hammock sways almost imperceptibly, a slow, nearly imagined motion, as if the air itself is breathing, and with each long exhale, you drift a fraction of an inch in one direction, then the other. Your body responds to this imagined motion. Muscles that once held you up now have nothing to do. The back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, your legs, all of them gently cupped by this soft curve, like a nest woven just for you in the open sky. Notice how, in this hammock, weight feels different. It is still there, but it is shared, given to the fabric, given to the air, given to the wide, quiet space around you. You do not carry it alone. The air is steady and still, yet you can almost sense tiny currents brushing past, a whisper against your arms, a cool trace along your cheeks, as if the sky is carefully smoothing away the last traces of the day from your skin. Far below, the world is distant and hazy, not gone, just far away, like a memory you do not need to reach for. Whatever was unfinished, whatever was loud, has settled into a soft, indistinct hum, too far beneath you to disturb this gentle height. Here, in this suspended place, the edges of your body begin to soften. Where does your back end and the hammock begin? Where does the hammock end and the air begin? It all blends into one long curve of support. Your hands rest where they fall, maybe by your sides, maybe across your middle. The fabric rises just enough to meet them, so they do not have to hold themselves up. Even your fingers can forget their shape for a while. Above you, the sky feels endless, but not empty. It has a quiet presence, like a vast, soft ceiling that does not press down, only watches over. You could look up for hours and never find an edge. Thoughts that still drift through your mind become like small, pale feathers in this sky. They appear, float lazily across your inner vision, then drift out of view. They do not need to be sorted or understood. They are just part of the air. Each breath you take seems to lengthen the hammock slightly. As you inhale, the fabric stretches, making more room. As you exhale, it gathers you in a little closer, rocking you a fraction deeper into its soft curve. The sense of up and down begins to lose its sharpness. You know you are suspended, yet it almost feels as though the sky is beneath you as much as above you. You are held from all sides, cradled by height, by openness, by the quiet in between. The longer you rest here, the more your body becomes a gentle outline rather than a solid thing. The heaviness in your legs spreads out into the hammock, then into the surrounding air. The weight in your chest loosens and thins, like mist rising and disappearing into the sky. Your face relaxes without effort. The small muscles around your eyes smooth. Your jaw unhooks from the day. Your tongue rests quietly, no longer forming words, no longer rehearsing conversations that have already passed. Thoughts may still arrive. They might come as brief flashes of images or half-formed sentences. Up here, in this airy nest, they are like distant kites drifting across a wide horizon. You can see them, but the strings are no longer in your hands. The hammock sways again, just a little, almost like the memory of movement. You feel that soft, slow arc from one side to the other and back again, each arc smoothing out the last remaining corners inside you. If you listen closely, there is a hush to this height. Not silence exactly, but a gentle absence of sharp sounds. Maybe a faint high hum, like the sky itself has a heartbeat so slow and wide, you can only sense it, not hear it. Your sense of time thins out here. Moments stretch like the fabric beneath you. There is no hurry to them. No next thing to reach, just this long, quiet suspension. Even the idea of you begins to soften at the edges. You're not separate from the hammock, or the air, or the sky that surrounds you. You are part of this one floating shape, this small curve of rest, hanging in a vast, gentle space. If a worry tries to rise, imagine the sky taking it from you, not pushing it away, just absorbing it, the way the air absorbs sound. It becomes softer, fainter, until it is just another tiny speck in the distance, hardly noticeable at all. The fabric beneath you has learned the exact weight of your body. It knows the pattern of your shoulders, the angle of your knees, the way your spine settles when it is finally tired enough to stop holding itself up. You can sink without fear of falling. There is nowhere to fall to, only deeper into this soft curve. Breath continues slow and unremarkable. In, out. Each exhale like a small release of sand from your pockets, making you lighter, easier to hold. Some parts of your body may feel almost absent now, as if your arms are simply extensions of the air, as if your legs are part of the hammock itself. Only a gentle awareness remains, a sense of being here, without needing to define where here begins or ends. Above, the sky darkens, just a shade, not closing, just deepening, like ink spreading slowly through clear water, turning the space above you into a rich, velvety calm. You rest in your quiet hammock, high in this still sky, floating without effort, held without question, thoughts far away, body almost forgotten. For now, it is enough to be this soft shape in the air, suspended, weightless, drifting in a nest of quiet, where even the mental chatter grows tired of its own echo and simply fades into the open sky. The weight of your body has its own quiet pull, like a small planet, resting in the dark. Each breath moves through you, slow, unhurried, almost as if the air has crossed a long distance to arrive here. Above you, in the mind's sky, night stretches out, vast, unmeasured, a soft, endless ceiling of darkness. You might sense it as a gentle dome curving over you, or as an open space with no walls at all. Either way, it is wide enough to hold every thought, wide enough to hold every feeling, without needing to change them. In that great night far above, tiny points of light shimmer, not sharp or bright, just a quiet scattering of stars. They don't ask for anything, they simply exist, steady and distant. Thoughts can feel like those stars, appearing in the dark, flickering for a moment, then resting again in the quiet. You do not have to reach for them. You do not have to name them. They are just there, in their own faraway places, hanging in the sky of your awareness. Notice how space itself is doing most of the work. So much soft emptiness between each star, so much gentle darkness stretching out, carrying everything. In the same way, there is a wide, dark stillness inside you, a quiet backdrop behind the thoughts, behind the feelings, behind the stories. Breath moves in, breath moves out, and that inner night holds steady. Imagine yourself drifting a little higher, as if your body were resting on a small, invisible platform, slowly rising into this night. Not fast, not dramatic, just the slow, natural lift of something that has become very light. The room falls away. The details blur. You're no longer sure where the edges of your body end and where the space around you begins. Like a stone warmed by the day, now cooling under the stars. You rest. The warmth of your own life slowly radiates out into the dark. The dark receives it without a sound. Far below, the world turns. All the noise, all the movement, all the bright, busy places grow smaller, as if you are watching a city from very high above, its lights dimming, one by one, until only a faint glow remains. Up here, in this vast night, there is only the slow rhythm of your breathing, the soft weight of your body, and an endless, quiet sky. If a thought appears, you might imagine it as a small satellite passing overhead, a brief shape moving through the dark. You see it. You recognize its path. And then it continues on, circling away into distance. You don't need to follow it. You can stay right here, where you are, held in the middle of the night's wide embrace. The darkness around you is not empty. It has a texture, like velvet or cool air on the skin. A gentle pressure, barely there, resting against your cheeks, your forehead, your closed eyes, Every exhale seems to deepen that contact, as if the night leans in just a little closer, wrapping you in its quiet. Time begins to loosen. Minutes don't line up in a row anymore. They become like faint rings around a distant planet, barely visible, drifting in the dark. There is only this moment, and this one, and this one. Each breath its own tiny star, appearing and fading, appearing and fading. You might sense your hands, not as solid shapes, but as soft clouds of warmth, floating in the dark. Your legs become long, gentle lines of weight, dissolving into space at the edges. Your chest rises and falls like a slow, dark wave in the night sky. The more you rest here, the more the borders soften. Shoulders blur into the space around them. Hips melt into the surface beneath. The outline of your face becomes indistinct, like a constellation whose stars have drifted slightly apart. There is no need to hold yourself together. The night is doing that for you. All around, the sky stretches in every direction, above, below, to each side. You are not on top of it or beneath it. You are within it, suspended in a gentle, endless dark. Imagine the quiet hum of the universe, so low and deep that it can only be felt as stillness. That stillness is here in the background of your awareness, a soft, steady presence that doesn't change, no matter what thoughts arise. If a memory surfaces, it might appear like a distant galaxy, beautiful, intricate, but very far away. You can see its swirl of light without stepping into it. You can admire it from the calm center where you float. The mind may try to count the stars, to map them, to understand their patterns, and then gently it grows tired of counting. Numbers slip away, names fade, only the sense of vastness remains. You are held inside that vastness, like a small, quiet moon, cradled in the gravity of a gentle planet of darkness. You do not need to shine. You can simply be. Notice how the darkness supports you from every side. There is no up or down here, no right or wrong way to rest, only this soft suspension, this weightless drifting. Breath in, the night gathers close. Breath out, you sink a little deeper into its arms. Thoughts may arrive, as tiny flashes, like meteors skimming the edge of your awareness. Brief, bright for a moment, then gone, leaving no trace. The space between those flashes grows wider, more open, more quiet. In that open space, a gentle silence spreads, not empty but full of ease, full of the simple fact that you are here, breathing, held by something larger than any single thought. The body now is more like a suggestion than a solid form, a cluster of sensations floating together in the dark. Warmth here, soft heaviness there, a slow pulse, like a distant star, somewhere deep inside. Everything else falls away. Stories, plans, old echoes of the day. They drift outward, like small pieces of dust until they are lost in the great soft dark. Here, in the heart of the night, you rest, not trying to sleep, not trying to do anything at all. Just breathing, just floating, just being gently held by the vast quiet sky that lives both above you and within you. If sleep comes, it will find you here, weightless in this endless night. If it has not arrived yet, there is no hurry. You are already in the place where sleep begins, in the deep, dark space where thought grows thin and silence becomes its own kind of light. The weight of your body is already moving downward, not in a sudden way, just a slow, steady drift, as if something beneath you has started to soften and open, and you are gently being received. Imagine you are standing in a very quiet elevator. The doors have closed with a soft hush. The light is dim and warm. The air is still. There is a faint sense of space around you and beneath you. You feel the floor under your feet. Solid, supportive, and then almost without noticing, when it began, the elevator starts to move downward, smooth, unhurried, no shaking, no jolts, just that subtle, unmistakable sense of descent. Each breath is like another floor passing. With every exhale, you drift a little lower. The numbers are not important. There is no display to watch. Only the feeling of moving through layers, one layer of tension, one layer of thought, one layer of the day, all quietly sliding past. The walls around you are calm. They do not rush. They do not push. They simply hold this gentle downward path. You are not steering. There is nothing to decide. The elevator knows the way. Somewhere above, the noise of the day stays on its own floor. Conversations, screens, lists, they remain where they belong. Here, the sound is different. A soft hum, far away, like a memory of sound rather than sound itself. If you notice a thought stepping into the elevator with you, that is all right. It can ride for a moment. Feel how, as you move down, even that thought begins to lose its sharpness. The edges blur. It becomes like a shape behind frosted glass. Present, but not demanding anything. Floor after floor, you continue to sink. The muscles in your face slide down, like sand settling at the bottom of a jar. Your shoulders follow, your hands, your legs. All the tiny grains of effort and holding, slowly drifting lower, finding the quietest place they can. There is nothing you need to hold up, nothing to brace for. The elevator moves on its own. You might sense the air changing as you go deeper. At the upper levels, it was a little cooler, a little more alert. Now, as you descend, the air feels thicker, warmer, like a soft blanket of quiet, gathering around you. Breath in, the elevator continues down. Breathe out, another layer slides past. You may notice that time here feels different. Up above, every floor had a number. Here, there is only this slow, ongoing downward motion. No rush to arrive, no schedule, just the feeling of sinking. If your mind reaches up, trying to check how far you have come, you can smile inwardly at that. It is like watching someone press a button that has no label. The elevator still goes where it is going. Gently, steadily. The deeper you move, the less you can remember the upper floors. They are still there, but distant, like a building seen from far away at night. Its windows tiny and unimportant. Here, inside, in this small, quiet space, there is only the soft hum and the downward glide. Notice the way your body is beginning to blur at the edges. The border between you and the floor beneath you is not so clear now, as if your weight is slowly seeping into the surface, spreading out, becoming part of something larger and still. Thoughts that used to land with a thud now arrive, like grains of sand poured into deep water. They sink, they disappear into the bottom layers without a sound. You do not have to follow them. You do not have to know where they go. They simply drift down. Join the rest and rest there. Somewhere far above, doors open and close. New stories begin, old ones end. None of that reaches you here. You're travelling through the quiet, in between, down past the floor of today, past the floor of yesterday, past the floor of plans and questions, all the way into the levels that exist only for rest. Imagine for a moment that with each exhale, a thin layer of dust settles on everything that once felt urgent. A message, a task, a worry. Each breath lays another soft coat over it until it is muffled, muted, barely visible, still there, but no longer shining brightly in your mind. Just a faint outline under the settling dust of sleep. The elevator moves deeper. The light inside grows softer, not darker exactly, more diffused, as if the walls themselves are beginning to glow with a gentle, even warmth. Your body responds. Muscles loosen without needing to be told. Jaw, neck, belly, they all sink like sand slipping down the sides of an hourglass, falling into the wide, quiet space at the bottom. Here, in these lower levels, even your name feels like something that belongs upstairs. Useful there, not needed here. Here, you are simply a presence, a gentle weight, descending. The elevator hum becomes almost like silence, a silence that has weight to it. Thickness. You can rest in it. If a thought taps on the inside of your mind, you might imagine it as someone pressing a button for a floor you have already passed. The doors will not open there again tonight. You continue down, past that, beyond that, deeper. There may be moments when it feels as though you are barely moving, as if you have reached a place where descent and stillness are the same thing, sinking and already settled, both at once, like sand that is so close to the bottom. Its fall is almost invisible. This is how the mind quiets, not all at once, just grain by grain, layer by layer, each breath helping the pieces of the day find their place at the bottom. Nothing is required of you here. The elevator carries you. The layers receive you. The chatter that once buzzed around you is now several floors above. Soft, muffled, far away. You are sinking through the last thin layers now. The ones made of almost thoughts, half-formed sentences, faint images. They too drift downward. They too settle, until all that remains is this feeling of being gently lowered into a deep, quiet place. A place with no doors to watch, no buttons to press, just the steady, comforting sense going down and down into rest. The music is still here, but softer now. Each note has rounded edges, nothing sharp, nothing asking for your attention. The melody that once seemed clear now feels like a gentle blur, as if it is remembering itself. More slowly, a phrase rises, then drifts back down, like a thought that almost forms, and then decides to rest instead. You might notice how the sound no longer reaches all the way to the edges of the room. It gathers closer, like a quiet conversation moving into a whisper. The music box inside your awareness has wound itself almost to the end. The spring is softer, the turning slower. Each tiny gear moves with unhurried patience. A small pause between one chiming note and the next. Those pauses begin to widen. The silence between tones feels thicker, more inviting. A single note appears clear and simple. It hangs in the air just a moment longer than before. Then it fades, leaving a faint afterglow of sound that your mind finishes on its own. You do not have to follow the tune anymore. It is no longer something to keep track of. It is simply happening. Far in the background, the last strands of melody unravel gently. A short pattern you almost recognize. Then a soft stumble as the mechanism grows tired. There is a sweetness in the way it slows, like a kind hand, loosening its grip. Finger by finger, another note, then a longer pause. Your breath fills that pause. Without effort, the tiny metal teeth that plucked each sound move with the weight of a quiet yawn. Even the air around the music feels thicker now, as though it is cushioning each remaining tone. You might sense how the sound no longer travels in straight lines. It curls gently inward, circling closer to your chest, closer to the heavy warmth of your body. You do not have to listen closely. The music is listening to itself now, finishing its own sentence. A soft cluster of notes tries to rise into a bright phrase, then thinks better of it and settles down again. The winding key that once turned with a firm, steady motion now rests almost still. Only the smallest, quietest movement remains. There is a moment when you are not sure if the music has ended, a faint echo, or maybe just the memory of one. Your mind hums the missing piece without needing sound at all. The final notes arrive without announcement. No grand ending, just a gentle stepping down from tone to tone to silence. One last chime, soft as a fingertip on glass. It appears, shivers in the air, and thins into nothing. The box does not close with a click. It simply stops moving. Stillness gathers around it like a quiet blanket. What remains is the shape the music left behind. A calm outline in the room, in your body, in your thoughts. Even that outline begins to blur. Edges soften, inside and outside become less important. Sound has done its work. Now it steps back, leaving a wide, open hush, where your mind can rest. Here, in this gentle fading, you can drift with the last invisible vibrations until even they fall completely quiet. And in that quiet, everything waits for you, without asking for anything at all. And now there is really nothing else to do, just this. Just how you are. Your body knows the way from here. Your breath knows too. Thoughts may still wander a little. They can soften at the edges. They can drift without needing to be followed. You can stay exactly as you are. If a thought appears, it can pass like a quiet sound in another room. Not important, not urgent. Just there and then already fading, the mind can rest or think softly. Either is all right. You have already come far enough for tonight. There is a kind of hush here now, a gentle dimming, like the room itself is exhaling with you. Nothing to fix, nothing to manage, only this easy, slow breathing, in and out, the rhythm taking care of itself. You can let the weight of your body be held, no effort in it, just resting. If any part of you is still awake, it can simply watch the quiet, like watching the last light fade at the edge of the day, not doing anything with it, only noticing and relaxing a little more. Words are not so necessary now. Silence can do the work. If you feel yourself drifting, you can drift. If you feel yourself hovering, you can hover. There is no need to choose. Everything can slow down here, even the need to understand, even the habit of reaching for the next thought. Just this breath, and this one, soft, unhurried. The mind can grow drowsy, the body heavy and comfortable. You are already close, close enough that even these sounds begin to blur at the edges, like they are wrapped in cotton, gentle, far away. You do not have to listen anymore. You can let the words come and go on their own, like waves that no longer reach you. If the eyes are not yet closed, they may grow heavier, or they may already be closed. Resting in the dark. Either way is fine. Everything is fine as it is. Thoughts thinning out now. Space opening between them. More space than thought. The kind of quiet that feels like a soft blanket. Nothing sharp in it, only ease. If a small part of you is still awake, it can simply float here, held by the dark, held by the hush. No direction, no plan, just resting. My voice is becoming very small now, more like a feeling than a sound. Here with you, in this gentle, quiet place. Soon even these words will fade, like a light dimming, like a door slowly closing on the day. You can stay here, drifting if you drift, sleeping if you sleep, breathing, resting, not needing anything more. I will grow quieter and quieter until there is only your breath and the soft, deep silence around you. And then even this voice can rest with you in the dark, in the quiet, just resting